Hello again. This is video number 4, an introduction to Installment C. So modules 8 to 11 are the key modules for the course. They bring us directly into the domain of business strategy and decision making and adds key analytical tools for your case analyses. In Module 8, you will learn the basic tools of power analysis, how we can assess the power of our firm relative to the various actors or stakeholders in the external environment. These actors are seeking to impose their definition of property rights and therefore the definition of our firm's social contract on us and on other decision makers, especially government actors in each case. Mastering construction of a power diagram that outlines the distribution of power in a case among the actors in the case is a central analytical skill we are seeking to build in this course. Module 9 integrates this power analysis of Module 8 with the environment monitoring of Module 7. In Module 9, you will learn the process of environmental forecasting and scenario building, laying out the path of current and future decisions and events which could ultimately come to have an impact on the firm in the domain of a particular case. Scenario building consists of a series of what-if statements. What if this decision was made? What if that event occurred? And then this decision followed, then that event, and so on. So a scenario is only as good as its inherent assumptions. The utility of scenario building is in identifying the critical assumptions and looking at variations on those assumptions that could alter projected or assumed outcomes in a case. So just as you can see power analysis diagramming in Exhibit 8-1, you can see an example of environmental forecasting and a scenario in Exhibit 8-2. So the scenario you build for a particular case will not only clarify the probability of the possible outcomes for the firm, but also identify the key junctions in the path where the scenario builder could intervene, our firm, and somehow change the outcome. A scenario also points the firm toward the important actors and developments to which it should turn the focus of its environmental monitoring system. For example, if the key junction in a scenario is a decision by a potential new competitor, major customer, specific government agency, or non-governmental organization, the firm will want to track the actions of this actor very closely so as to detect any movement toward the key decision that could make the hypothetical scenario a reality. Module 10 brings our focus specifically onto the government decision maker, or what we call the public policy maker, and the public policy process. Module 10 asks the question, what is the process by which the government actors in our case will make decisions? To bring this into focus, we outline 5 major public policy models whose application depends on the nature of government decision maker and the issues involved in the case. So Module 10, you have to be very careful about reading in detail what each model represents. Past students have had the biggest difficulty with this course in sorting out what each individual public policy model really represents. Finally, Module 11 integrates all of the foregoing issues and tools and poses the question, what should our strategy be in this case to achieve the optimal outcome for the firm? You should take the posture of a young university graduate being asked by your superior to help him or her to advise the CEO of the firm. With this posture in mind in answering the case questions, don't just go through a list of the tools from the modules and cite their relevance to the case. Use the tools to answer the questions which are posed. So your answer should begin something along these lines. To understand, you would be writing, to understand what the firm should do, we need to first understand, and then you proceed to say, one, how our firm's perspective on property rights and our social contract differs from that of other stakeholders, especially those with power. How power is distributed in the case. So you would say, as you can see from my power diagram, the key government decision makers are, and enumerate them, and how the government in the case is likely to make a decision. So you would say this key government actor follows this particular public policy model. Or you might also be saying something like this: our opponents have more or less influence than we do over this government decision maker. Here you would also cite the role of intermediaries, as often actors do not exercise power on key decision makers directly. So this analysis and other key elements and issues of the case specified here leads us to the scenario whereby this case will develop and how our firm can achieve our objective in the case. And you would say something as you would along these lines. Returning to the focus on who are the key decision makers and who are the opponents of the firm and how they are likely to act in our scenario. So again, you will summarize the power situation, summarize how the key actors, in particular government actors, are going to behave, what a scenario playout looks like on a most probable course of events, and then you'll say this is what our scenario or our strategy is going to be. And we're going to either have to achieve our goals on our own, overcome our opponents, force them to withdraw or defeat them. We may have to involve allies in our objectives and strategy. So this process is what we end up the course with in the corporate social responsibility course. Good luck on your case analyses.